We're live from New Delhi. You're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Abhishek coming up in the next 30 minutes. EU and India agree to sign security and defence partnership ahead of the 60th India-EU summit. EU Foreign Policy Chief Kaja Kallis says two major democracies must become ambitious partners. India's rooftop solar empowers 10 million households with 267 gigawatts renewable energy capacity, says new and renewable energy minister Prasar Bharati at Davos. US President Donald Trump withdraws planned Greenland-linked tariffs after Davos talks, cites preliminary deal with NATO on island's future. And in sports, India trounced New Zealand in the first T20 international. Abhishek Sharma's blitz sets up a convincing 48-run win. And on to the details now. India and the European Union have agreed to sign a new security and defence partnership. The announcement was made by EU's Foreign Policy Chief Kaja Kallis ahead of the 60th EU-India summit scheduled to take place in New Delhi on Tuesday. Kallis asserted that Europe is ready to deliver on a powerful new agenda with India, part of which includes expanding cooperation in areas such as maritime security, counterterrorism and cyber defence, and signing off India-EU free trade agreement too. Well, Kallis said the two major democracies must cooperate more, especially in the changing, unprecedented world order.
Critical supply chains in clean technologies, pharmaceuticals and semiconductors. Second, today we agreed to move forward with the signature of a new EU-India security and defence partnership in areas like maritime security, cybersecurity and counterterrorism. We will also launch negotiations on a security of information agreement. In a more dangerous world, we will both gain from working closer together. We also intend to conclude a memorandum of understanding on comprehensive framework on cooperation on mobility. This will facilitate movement for seasonal workers, students, researchers and highly skilled professionals while promoting research and innovation.
Well, Kallis said that the two major democracies must cooperate, more especially in the changing, unprecedented world order, stressing that India and EU have renewed political momentum and with clear sense of purpose.
The EU and India are moving closer together at the time when the rules-based international order is under unprecedented pressure through wars, coercion and economic fragmentation. Two major democracies cannot afford to hesitate. We must become more ambitious partners.
Well, Kallis also said that Europe and India could help anchor stability in the Indo-Pacific.
In the Indo-Pacific and beyond, Europe and India can help anchor stability by defending open sea lanes, strengthening maritime domain awareness, and resisting coercion in all of its forms. Honourable members, this summit matters for what it sets in motion, a more ambitious, more operational EU-India partnership. We have an opportunity to turn political momentum into progress for our citizens, for our companies, our economies, and also upholding rules-based order on which our security and prosperity depend.
Well, European Council President Antonio Costa and European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen will attend India's Republic Day celebrations as chief guest on January 26th, with the India-EU summit scheduled for the following day. Overall, the visiting EU delegation for the summit will comprise around 90 members, including Kaja Kallis, Trade Commissioner Miroslav Sefcovic, and several Director Generals overseeing trade, energy and industrial policy. And US President Donald Trump has expressed confidence over the India-US bilateral trade agreement, noting that the two countries are going to have a good deal, while praising Prime Minister Narendra Modi as a close friend and respected leader. Trump also made the remarks following his address at the 56th annual summit of the World Economic Forum. Earlier, India's Commerce Secretary Rajesh Agrawal asserted that the much-anticipated first tranche of the India-US BTA is very near, but stopped short of providing a timeline. Well, the BTA, formally proposed in February following directives from the leadership of both nations, seeks to more than double bilateral trade from the current USD 191 billion to 500 billion USD by the year 2030. Another World Economic Forum 2026 in Davos, a new and renewable energy minister, Prasar Joshi, said India has achieved 267 gigawatts of installed renewable energy capacity.
In last 10 years, from 3 gigawatt, less than 3 gigawatt from solar, today we are 136 gigawatt. And wind, it was nearly about 25 gigawatt. Today it is 55 gigawatt. And overall renewables, including hydro, small hydro, all put together, today we are 267 gigawatt installed capacity today.
While calling renewables more affordable than fossil fuels, the minister said the government's rooftop solar program is empowering 10 million households to save on electricity cost and earn through clean energy generation.
In India, I can very confidently say affordability, it is better than fossil fuel energy. Sure. See, for now the price of the, only for the figures I am referring this tab, the tariff-based price discovery of the solar power has come down almost 80%. That is to 0.026 per unit today. So, whereas thermal and other fossil sources, it is at least 8 rupees, means that is 8 cents, I believe. Sure. For 10 million people, we have drawn a program, scheme, where 10 million households, they can install rooftop solar. Sure. Where not only they are saving from the electricity bill, that is tariff, and they are selling it and they are earning money. So this is the success story. So there is no question of affordability as on date in India.
Well, India's new renewable energy minister, Prasar Joshi, held a productive interaction with Stephen B. Wintels, Chief Executive Officer of KfW, on the sidelines of the World Economic Forum in Davos on further strengthening KfW's partnership in India's energy transition. Both of them reviewed KfW's impactful contributions to India's clean energy journey, including large-scale support for solar deployment, grid modernization, development of the green energy corridor and private sector investments, and discussed plans to significantly scale up investments in the coming years. They also explored collaboration opportunities across renewable energy expansion, green hydrogen and electrolyzer manufacturing, transmission and distribution modernization, energy storage, industrial decarbonization, e-mobility and gas infrastructure, aligned with India's goal of achieving 500 gigawatts of renewable capacity by the year 2030 and building a resilient, low-carbon energy system. And Maharashtra's Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis on Thursday announced the development of the state-of-the-art innovation city situated near the Mumbai airport to help new businesses grow. The Chief Minister revealed that the Tata Group will invest $11 billion in this project, which aims to provide a plug-and-play ecosystem specifically designed to support the startup community. He said that the city to be built near Navi Mumbai International Airport would be a future-ready hub, which will place Maharashtra at the heart of AI, semiconductors and global capacity center. Also, the minister asserted that as technology reshapes the world economy, Maharashtra is building a responsible, world-class innovation ecosystem that will directly benefit our people and also strengthen the state's economic future. Well, at Davos, India's energy efficiency shines with its strongest ever contingent. At the World Economic Forum, India's focus remained on powering innovation and global solutions with new investment opportunities in AI, tech and green energy transition.
On day 3 of World Economic Forum at Davos, with strongest ever delegation, India continues its pitch for investments with focus on India's transition from emerging to pivotal. Speaking at an event, Union Minister for New and Renewable Energy, Prasar Joshi, along with Madhya Pradesh Chief Minister, said that India stands in the global spotlight in terms of driving global renewable energy. He also lauded Madhya Pradesh's renewable energy story.
India has added 267, India is now 261 gigawatt of total renewable energy. That is 52% of the total energy produced in India, generated in India. That becomes 52% out of that total 52. Total 267 becomes 52%. That we have achieved well in advance.
Minister Joshi also shared India's experience in scaling rooftop, agricultural and decentralized renewable energy solutions for the global south. In another interactive session, Scaling Solar Where It Matters, Maharashtra Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis said that India's entire energy landscape witnessed a major transformation in just less than a decade's time.
With the vision of Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji, we decided to entirely shift the agriculture power load on solar. 16 gigawatts of power will be generated.
Meanwhile, Assam Chief Minister Hemanta Biswa Sharma also lauded nation solar initiatives.
India has developed a lot of solar potential, but to preserve that solar potential for peak hours, we need storage. So, green energy, hydrocarbon, semiconductor, electronics. So these are the core area we are interacting with the global investors.
Earlier, Deputy Chief Minister of Gujarat, Harsh Sanghvi, met with key leaders from OpenAI and Cognizant to discuss integrating artificial intelligence and expanding digital infrastructure to drive the next wave of industrial growth in Gujarat.
Gujarat is having a strong investment legacy. So Gujarat is here to see the new opportunities in AI, defense, GCC, the textile parks, financing new investment plans.
India's former Union Minister Smriti Irani participated in a session on strategic leadership in biorevolution, women powering innovation and global solutions. The discussion underscored how gender-responsive leadership strengthens the innovation ecosystems and delivers more inclusive outcomes for society. With agency inputs, Tripti Tripaঠি's report for DD India.
And Andhra Pradesh's Chief Minister N. Chandrababu Naidu, in a social media post on X, wrote on his interaction at a session hosted by Bloomberg at World Economic Forum in Davos. Naidu also shared photos of his interaction. He mentioned in the post that in Andhra Pradesh, AI is no longer a buzzword and that they are adapting their system to leverage AI, especially to enhance governance. Well, Naidu believes in AI for all. Technology must deliver tangible benefits for every citizen, farmers, students, entrepreneurs and communities, not just tech companies or urban centers. Also, Naidu discussed this and more at the Trillions of Dollar AI Moment, Transforming the Global Economy, a session hosted by Bloomberg at the World Economic Forum annual meeting in Davos. And January 22nd, 2026 marks the second anniversary of the historic Pran Pratishtha of Lord Ram at Ayodhya's Grand Ram Temple. The temple complex, now adorned with 14 additional shrines and modern facilities, has become a major spiritual and cultural landmark. Devotees from across India continue to visit, witnessing the sprawling parikrama and sacred temples. The anniversary underscores the temple's significance as a symbol of faith, devotion, and Sanatan heritage. And still to come in this edition of DD India Live. Campaigning begins today in Bangladesh under tight security as 2,000 candidates in the fray for 13th general election. Figure skating makes historic debut at Khelo India Winter Games. An Air Force Symphony Band marks 150 years of Vande Mataram with stirring concert in New Delhi.
Jharkhand will mesmerize you with majestic nature, rich heritage and colorful culture.
Hello. Johar. It fits perfectly.
Thank you.
Full workout ho gaya.
Ready?
Postcards from Jharkhand on National Geographic.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India Live. I'm Vipakshi Khurana. And moving on, US President Donald Trump has stepped back from threats to impose tariffs as leverage to seize Greenland, ruled out the use of force, and said a deal was in sight to end a dispute over the Danish territory. In a post on his social media site, Trump said he had agreed with the head of NATO on a framework of a future deal on Arctic security, potentially diffusing tension that had far-reaching geopolitical implications. Well, Trump said Western Arctic allies could forge a new deal that satisfies his desire for a Golden Dome missile defense system and access to critical minerals while blocking Russia and China's ambitions in the Arctic. Now, the announcement came hours after Trump's Davos speech, where he repeated that US needed Greenland for national and global security and said NATO members could agree to US control and will be very appreciative. Trump told reporters after emerging from a meeting with NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte that the long-term deal will make everybody happy.
It's a deal that people jumped at. Really fantastic for the USA. Gets everything we wanted, including especially real national security and international security.
How so? Can you give us some details, please?
Well, the deal is going to be put out pretty soon, and we'll see. It's right now a little bit in progress, but pretty far along. It gets us everything we needed to get. It's a long-term deal. It's the ultimate long-term deal. And I think it puts everybody in a really good position, especially as it pertains to security and minerals and everything else.
Well, updates on Russia-Ukraine conflict now. Russian President Vladimir Putin will meet U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff and U.S. President Trump's son-in-law Jared Kushner in Moscow on Thursday. The talks are part of the ongoing negotiations to end around 4-year conflict. The two sides earlier held a 5-hour meeting in December, though they were not able to yield any major breakthroughs. Meanwhile, U.S. President Donald Trump on Wednesday said that he would meet with Ukrainian counterpart Volodymyr Zelensky in Davos, adding that he believed both the Ukrainian leader and Russian President Vladimir Putin wanted to end the nearly 4-year-old conflict. Trump, speaking at the gathering of the world leaders in Switzerland, said he was dealing with Putin and Zelensky and urged an end to the fighting, describing the conflict as a bloodbath and citing heavy battlefield losses as well.
I'm dealing with President Putin, and he wants to make a deal, I believe. I'm dealing with President Zelensky, and I think he wants to make a deal. I'm meeting him today. He might be in the audience right now. But they got to get that war stopped because too many people are dying, needlessly dying. Too many souls are being lost. It's the only reason I'm interested in doing it.
Well, 9 countries across the Middle East and Asia have announced plans to join United States President Donald Trump's so-called Board of Peace in the Gaza Strip. The foreign ministers of Pakistan, Egypt, Jordan, the United Arab Emirates, Indonesia, Turkey, Saudi Arabia and Qatar said they would be joining the Trump-led board in a joint statement. The statement said that the ministers reiterate their country's support for the peace efforts led by President Trump. Kuwait's Ministry of Foreign Affairs said later on Wednesday that it also had accepted Trump's invitation to join the board. Also, Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu also accepted President Trump's invitation to join the so-called Board of Peace. Putin said Russia could send $1 billion from Russian frozen in U.S. assets to Board of Peace even before the decision to accept the invitation is made.
Even before we decide on the issue of participation in the composition and work of Board of Peace, we could send $1 billion from Russian assets frozen under the previous US administration to Board of Peace. Incidentally, the remaining funds from our frozen assets in the US could be used to rebuild territories damaged by the fighting after a peace treaty is concluded between Russia and Ukraine. We are also discussing this possibility with representatives of the US administration.
Well, the board, which includes senior Trump advisors Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner, as well as former British Prime Minister Tony Blair, will oversee a Palestinian technocratic committee tasked with managing day-to-day affairs in the Strip. Well, moving on, Australia holds National Day of Mourning for victims of deadly Bondi terror attack. Speaking in Canberra, Prime Minister Anthony Albanese said the Bondi Beach terror attack remains a stain on our nation. He said the national flag will fly at half-mast at all federal government and NSW government buildings out of respect for the grief over the 15 people killed in the attack. Well, also, Albanese urged all Australians to observe a minute's silence at 7:01 p.m. AEDT, that is 8:01 GMT, and to leave a lit candle in their window or on their doorstep in solidarity with the Jewish community. The theme of the National Mourning Day is Light Will Win, a gathering of unity and remembrance. And in Bangladesh, 2,000 candidates are in the fray for the 13th national election after the deadline for withdrawal of nominations ended on Tuesday. The country's election commission said that 1,967 candidates are contesting across 300 constituencies. Polling will be held on 12th of February along with a nationwide referendum. The contest is largely shaping up as a two-block battle, with the Bangladesh Nationalist Party contesting 285 seats and the Jamaat-e-Islami fielding candidates in 243 constituencies as part of a 9-party alliance. And now to some sports news now. Opener Abhishek Sharma struck 84 runs off 35 balls to set up a convincing 48-run win for India in the first of the 5 T20 internationals against New Zealand. Abhishek smashed 8 sixes to get India off to a flying start before a late unbeaten cameo of 44 runs by Rinku Singh helped the host reach 238 runs for the loss of 7 wickets after being invited to bat first in Nagpur. New Zealand could only muster 190 runs for the loss of 7 wickets as regular wickets helped India take a 1-0 lead. Glenn Phillips hit a valiant 78 runs off 40 balls and briefly threatened a fight back with a 79-run partnership with Mark Chapman, who made 39. But Phillips' exit in the 14th over off left-arm spinner Akshar Patel ended New Zealand's hopes. The second match will be played on Friday in Raipur. And for the first time, figure skating, an Olympic discipline, has been introduced at the Khelo India Winter Games, adding a new dimension to India's winter sports journey. DD India's Abhishek Prasad spoke to the figure skaters who shared insights about their sport, their preparation and the future events they are now targeting.
Figure skating, an Olympic sport, is making its debut in this edition of the Khelo India Winter Games. And I have with me figure skaters who have come from different parts of India. And sir, how figure skating is making its debut in this edition of the Games. So how you are finding this Khelo India Winter Games, the initiative by the Government of India?
It's a very nice initiative, and I have been figure skating for the past 10 years. It's like the first time we have come here. It's a very nice place, very nice accommodations. They have brought proper judges for the announcements and everything. I'm quite pleased of everything that the government has done for this Khelo India figure skating.
Tell me about the main aspects of figure skating and how the competition is judged and what kind of preparations you have to do.
So we have to perform on a music. We'll have 2 programs, short and long program. In that, according to our jumps and spins and how clearly we do that, according to that, we'll get marks.
So in other parts of the country throughout the year, what kind of preparations do you guys have?
Actually, we don't have any ice rings in southern part of India. We have to come to northern part to perform in ice skating rings. Because we also have to adapt to the temperature here, because from almost 25 degrees to minus 19 degrees we have to come, we have to adapt to it, and we have to do it.
From how many years are you doing figure skating? And this is challenging conditions in Leh, so acclimatizing to these conditions, how do you have acclimatized?
I have acclimatized quite well. It's not that different from being in Dehradun. It's still a lot cold here.
Thank you so much. So these were the figure skaters of different parts of India who were explaining about the aspects and the technicalities of figure skating, and they are very confident and are looking forward for future competitions. With cameraman Jagmohan, Abhishek Prasad, DD India, Leh.
Well, an Air Force Symphony Band on Wednesday regaled audiences in New Delhi with scintillating tunes. The concert, which was open for all, celebrated 150 years of India's national song, Vande Mataram. Several versions of Vande Mataram were sung by the Air Force musicians, including Agniveers. All right, that's all for this edition of DD India Live. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Lipakshi Khurana from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India Live.